This is a shamanic approach, and I am Angela Faith, shamanic practitioner and mentor. I'm so happy that you are here, and I'm happy to be here. It has been an experience getting from episode 2 to episode 3. I had this idea that once I got the first one under my belt, it would be easy after that. And I cannot say it's been hard, but I have certainly faced some challenges that I've been given the opportunity to overcome or just not do it. I don't have to do this, and it's okay not to. But I'm here because I'm not ready to give up. So I always want to start out by saying it is never my intention to tell you what to think, feel, or believe, but it is my desire to inspire you to think, to feel, and to believe. It is my mission to inspire others to create wholeness, wellness, and harmony through spiritual work and guidance, as I have done in my own life experience. And as I said, I'm happy to be here. And I'm finding this creation, this podcast idea that has come to me a long time ago. And it was a process of getting there to actually moving forward and putting action behind it. And as I said, I kind of had this idea that once I got to point B, that the rest would be downhill. And it has given me many opportunities to get clear and to decide what my purpose is for even doing it to begin with. Because there is a learning curve. I'll just be honest with you. It's the technology part that gets me, the editing software. And I find it interesting that with this, I feel this need to edit. I feel this need to have the ability to edit. So take out my mistakes, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of podcasts are scripted and edited and fancy. And again, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Well, it's not that. I can tell you. It's not to be edited, it's not to be scripted, and it's certainly not to be fancy. I am about as authentic as it is. And yeah, so I used to sing with a dear, dear friend of mine. He played guitar. He's in the spirit world now, bless his soul. And I would play music with him. And one of the things I learned with playing live music is if you mess up, you just keep going. You don't mess up in the middle of the song or at the end of the song, which is what I've been doing with this, and then just say, oh, I messed up. I got to start over. You just keep singing. You keep, the show goes on. You keep going. And oftentimes, if you don't make a big deal of it, no one else does, and no one else will remember it unless you make it memorable that you sang the wrong verse or the same verse twice. Or in my case with this podcast, losing my train of thought, I will start to tell you a story or make a point, and I tend to digress, and then I totally lose where I was going. Well, that's okay. I'm not going to edit that out. An old timer told me years ago when I had opportunities to do public speaking, pee and pray and get out of the way. Pee and pray and get out of the way. So, what he was meaning is, yeah, go pee. It's important. And while you're there, check in with your higher power, your creator, and for me, it looks like this. Give me the words to say, the courage to say them, allow me to be an instrument. So that is what I'm here to do. This is called a shamanic approach because I am a shamanic practitioner, and shamanism is a spiritual practice that I implement, and it's my way of being. Not just when I'm in a session, it's my way of being, of existing, of coexisting. And I wanted to, why am I here? Why am I putting myself through more technology and learning? Because like many of us in the last year and a half or 2 years, I have some things that I am feeling encouraged to share, and not for anything other than to support others where they are. so that you don't, maybe if my words resonate with you, it's like, oh, I'm not the only one that thinks this way, because I used to think that. And my dear sweet mother, who's also in spirit, just in the 70s, she felt very isolated because she did not have the beliefs of all of those around her. And she was a white witch, and meaning she was a medicine woman, she was a healer, she worked in the unseen realms, and she was very magical. But she didn't have the support in the community that we now have access to. And for years, I was very content being the fly on the wall, the wallflower, and not being heard and keeping my mouth shut. And I don't need to be heard, I don't need to be understood. But I have found that by sharing, I can inspire others or support others in doing the same. So, with all of that said, thank you for being here. And who knows where we're going to go? It'll be a surprise, but I trust that my words will land with some of you and take what you want and leave the rest. All right. So, what I want to talk about today is something that I talk about often in sessions. And if you want to know more about me and what I do as a shamanic practitioner and as a mentor, you can go to my website. It's angelafaith.love. It's my first and middle name. Love. Isn't that cute? angelafaith.love. And I do offer programs, a shamanic approach to modern living, and then that's followed up with metamorphosis. And shamanism, as I said, for me, it is a way of being. And there's a lot of talk about journeying, the shamanic journey. And here's what I want to share with you. You don't have to be a shaman to practice, have a spiritual practice, and and practice the principles of shamanism. However, if you ever want to be open to the invitation to be a shamanic practitioner, practicing shamanism is a requirement. That spiritual practice is going to determine your abilities, if you will, your access to that. So, what I want to talk about today is how to approach self care. And I want to approach it in this way, talking about the word selfish. Okay? Selfish has gotten a bad rap. Oh, don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. That's selfish, especially for women and mothers. It almost feels like that if we do anything for ourselves first, it's selfish and therefore it's wrong. And so we save what's left for ourselves, which is often not much, if anything, left over. And it can be a cycle, and then we feel shame or guilt if we take a moment for ourselves. And I want to talk about what I teach is called being selfish with integrity. Selfish with integrity. And I've got notes here. This is not a script by any means. It is simply my journal. I journal every day. You can see my handwriting there, some doodling. And this is just some journaling that came through, kind of an outline, if you will. And I wanted to use it for this conversation. So being selfish with integrity, these are things that I practice. And one thing I know when working with unseen realms, the invisible, I like to call it, and energy and the law of attraction and all the spiritual laws that are there to support us in this way of being. But there's polarity in all things. So there are the karmic laws as well, cause and effect, those types of universal laws. So being selfish with integrity is ways of being selfish that support the spiritual and universal laws in creating and support you in creating the life that not only you will desire but deserve. Okay. But it's a reciprocity. We can't just do these things or these rituals every once in a while and just hope that things turn around for us. It takes some doing the rituals and ceremony. It's a big part of my life, and that supports me in taking the steps and recognizing the guidance in the next direction to move. So, before I digress too much, being selfish with integrity. So, these are interconnected. This is not like a list of do this on Monday and do this on Wednesday. This is something to practice, and they all kind of tie in together. So, I'm going to do my best to explain it in a way that I will trust. I won't do my best. I will trust that it will be explained through me in a way that is understandable. So, selfish with integrity. Be honest. I know you're probably thinking, I'm honest. I don't lie. I mean, be rigorously honest. And if you can't tell the truth, don't speak. Whew. And this can be challenging. And it was for me in the beginning. And here's why. I want to talk about being dishonest. We call them lies, but that sounds so, ooh, lie. You lied. Dishonesty. Let's talk about that for a minute. Dishonesty is a symptom, a reaction of fear. People are dishonest. I am dishonest when I get in a state of fear, either fear of how things are going to turn out. So I will be dishonest to manipulate a situation, thinking that to get the outcome that I think is best or that I desire. Or I may be dishonest because I'm fearful that you won't like me if I tell you the truth. That's a big one. That people pleasing. And I'm talking about rigorous honesty. So this could look like, will you go to the store with me? No, I can't. I have a headache, when really I don't have a headache. Because I'm afraid if I just say, no, I don't want to go, it'll hurt your feelings and then you won't like me. And I need you to like me because I need you to love me. And so now I've just told a little white lie. It's about energy. You might think, oh, it's not a big deal. These add up in your karmic bank, if you will. And not even about karma. It's more of, because when I'm working with people and they're like, I don't feel connected, it's not about how do you get connected. It's how do you remove what's blocking your awareness of your connection. And those little white lies, those add up to blocking your awareness in so many levels of your divine guidance, because it's kind of a survival mode. I used to I thought I was very honest until I was in my own teachings told be honest, and I started realizing how I would lie to people please, or again, to get outcomes that I thought I wanted. Now, with that being said, being honest, to take that to the next, being selfish with integrity, is stop explaining yourself. I don't explain myself. Depending on the situation, of course, if it's my husband, I'm going to give him an explanation of why I can't do A, B, or C. But I'm going to use examples here. Say you invite me to go on a trip with you because you don't want to go alone. And I just, it just doesn't work for me. And I can just say, no, thank you. But thank you for asking. That's it. Oh, but I really want you to go. I appreciate that, but no, thank you. I appreciate you asking. But if I get into this, oh, I don't want you to be disappointed, so now I got to come up with a good reason why I can't go, because I really don't want to go, but I don't want to be honest because it might hurt your little feelings. And so, again, we can create a big explanation that we think sounds good and will be approved of. So underneath that explanation is this little child that's like, please say it's okay. Please approve of me. Being selfish with integrity is I stopped explaining myself. No is a complete answer. No. Will you do this? No. No, thank you. It's a lot easier to be honest if I'm not explaining myself all over the place. And it's also a lot easier to get caught in little dishonesties when I am over explaining myself because of people pleasing or fear of outcomes. I trust that this is making some sense. It's all going to tie in together. So selfish with integrity, because here's what where we can get caught up is we can start telling. I know sometimes when I tell people make yourself a priority, you matter, be selfish, they think, "Oh, well, I need to rest, so it's okay for me to lie and get out of doing this." Where I no, that's not that's being selfish. That's just being selfish, but selfish with integrity is just being honest. I no, I can't go, or no, I can't come to your event, but thank you for inviting me, without going into a big explanation, because there's always that one person that was like, "Oh, come on, you'll feel better once you get here." And then we may end up doing something we don't want to do, and regret it, and that's not being selfish with integrity. That's sacrificing myself for someone else's. um, I want to be careful with my words here. I'm not saying we don't ever make sacrifices to support others, but I don't believe that it's ever necessary for me to sacrifice myself in such a way, right? So, anyway, so moving on. Don't commit just to people please. So being selfish with integrity for me is I used to say yes to everything because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And now I'm very selective of what I commit to. I used to think I had commitment issues, but I have discovered it's not that I have issues with commitment. Once I'm committed, I'm committed. But I'm very selective of what I commit to. So that is not overextending myself again to people please, to feel loved, or to feel like I need to do all of that to get my needs met. Being selfish with integrity again is just saying no. I will often have someone maybe reach out to me wanting to get in for a session right away, and if I don't have an opening, I don't overcommit. If someone invites me to a personal engagement, I'm often I will let you know, unless it's again a wedding or something I need a firm RSVP. But I will often be, I will let you know. And I let them know within a reasonable time, like 24, 48 hours. And here's another follow up on this, though. These tie in together, remember, being selfish with integrity, be mindful and deliberate about where you make your commitments. But once I commit, I follow through, regardless of how I feel the day of. I see a lot of memes like it's okay to cancel to protect your energy. Yes, it is. But if you start to become a chronic canceler, yeah, yes, canceler, someone who cancels chronically, that lacks integrity. Then you become not dependable. And this is the biggest thing that happens when we cancel plans. When we commit, those universal laws I was talking about, those spiritual laws, those invisible realms, they start to work in your behalf. And things you've experienced this, I'm sure. We call them synchronicities. We call them, oh my gosh, you can't make this up. When you run into that person at the most random place that has the answer or the thing you've been looking for. When you make a commitment, the cooperative components of the universe start conspiring on your behalf. So when you cancel all the time, you could be missing your date with destiny. Or you could also just kind of like, with our spirit guides, they'd be like, she's not going to show up anyway, so I'm not going to bother. If you think of your spirit guides, as I do sometimes as a team, looking out for my craziness. And so I've learned through experience to show up when I make a commitment, unless unforeseen things come up. I had to not go to an event last night because something unforeseen came up. And or health, we're in a time right now, if you're not feeling well, it's important to stay home. But you get what I'm saying. Don't just make plans to people please and then cancel at the last minute because, I just didn't feel like going, and it's okay to take care of myself. Yes, it's okay to take care of yourself. But if you learn to do it with integrity, you create better cause and effect, karmic reaction for yourself and creation as a whole. Creation as a whole. So, yeah, so be honest, but don't over explain yourself. Don't explain yourself. Don't commit just to people please. But if you do commit, follow through. Don't cancel. And if you cancel, reschedule. That's also, you know, it's important to be mindful of how we leave people. I'm not responsible for everyone's feelings, this hair. But I am, I do seek to be kind and not hurtful. So if I do cancel, I always follow up and, can we reschedule? And I'm kind of digressing. So making yourself a priority. I had a session today and I hear this often. We say one day a week I have a day for me. I get a massage or I get a mani-pedi, or one day a week I take time for me. Oh, honey, make yourself a priority 7 days a week. You deserve more than one day a week. Okay? Not all day, every day, but you are a priority every day. You deserve to sit quietly for 10 minutes in the morning. You deserve to pause outside and look around and appreciate the beauty of all the seasons. That's another topic. You are a priority. Put your oxygen mask on first. Selfish with integrity is making myself a priority every day so that I can be in every other way and in all of my other relationships my best self. I have more to give. So making myself a priority for me every day, that is meditating. And that's another topic. I tell you, I have all the topics, and that was another issue I had to hurdle I had to overcome. Is I have so many topics, I don't know what to talk about, and then I wouldn't talk about anything. So here we are talking about selfish with integrity for today. But making yourself a priority, I'm telling you, healing the world, healing your loved ones, healing your ancestral lineage, healing starts within and goes outward. If you don't make yourself a priority, everything else it doesn't fall into place. That's where it must begin. Not give yourself what's left over. I trust that this lands with you. So making yourself a priority, what that can look like is having a cup of tea in the morning quietly, learning some deep breathing exercises. I've done that. I have a YouTube channel called A Shamanic Approach with Angela Faith. There's a 4-minute meditation on there, and I take you through a breathing exercise, reset the nervous system, just gets things moving, gets energy moving. Making yourself a priority every day, just doing it's not about what do I do when I get overwhelmed. It's what do I do every day so that I don't get so overwhelmed. I used to deal with chronic depression, manic moods, bipolar. I've been diagnosed with many of those and would not even be able to get out of bed. I've not been in that state since 2006. And it's not that I figured out what to do when I start feeling anxious. It's that I have started implementing every day certain practices, specific practices, deliberate practices, intentional, consistently. And it doesn't take long each day, but I make myself a priority because I have discovered that when I am well, I can restore wellness wherever I go. But if I am a hot mess, trying to fix, manage, and control everything outside of me, it is futile and exhausting. I am winding down. I do want to share, this is something, again, I'm going off notes in my journal. So I want to just share this, leave you with this. Recognize that yourself, not yourself, but yourself, your being, is more than just your physical vessel. And it's more than just this one lifetime. Selfish with integrity is acts for self that never harm the whole. So how do I know if I'm being selfish with integrity or selfish out of integrity? If it's hurtful, if it's harmful, that's probably not with integrity. Going back to the honest part, learning to communicate is big, being honest. But here's what my real important teacher in my life taught me. Love this. Say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. So I can speak if I need to be honest with my husband, with my adult children, with a friend, an associate, anyone, a stranger. With practice. Say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. So selfish without causing harm to the whole. It doesn't mean feelings won't get hurt, because sometimes when we're honest, even in a kind way, people are going to we might hurt someone's feelings, but I promise you that's better than suppressing your own feelings. We've all had that experience, because usually what happens is then I used to do this. I would not want to hurt anyone's feelings, because as a sensitive, I could feel your hurt feelings. So I would push down my feelings to save your feelings. And then eventually I would explode and hurt a lot more than just your feelings. I would be very harmful. So doesn't mean feelings won't get hurt, but that is sometimes part of the greater expansion. I call them growing pains. Think about it. All right. I'm winding down, and as always, thank you for hanging out with me today. I am going to post this one. I feel good about it. No editing, not my style. We're going to just keep singing wherever the song takes us. And I'm going to end with playing some drum. This is Raven. She is one of my medicine drums, and I'm going to leave you with a little song, probably just a Native American folk song. You can often find them on YouTube. And again, you can find my channel. I've got a few videos on there, and also a way to raise your vibration is always drumming and singing or dancing. Always, always. So I trust you will be able to hear this just fine. Let me adjust my mic a little. And I invite you now to just allow yourself to relax. If you want to soften your gaze, so just let your eyelids relax and allow whatever you're looking at just blur. Or you can close your eyes, just letting your eyelids relax. And just become aware of your breath, feeling it moving in and out. In and out. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. And you can use this. This is a way to be selfish throughout your day. Taking a moment to breathe. But first, empty your lungs. Blow out. Breathe in through your nose. Deep breath in. Exhale gently through your lips. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale gently through your lips. And one more deep breath into your belly. Inhale. And exhale, settling in. Using your big, beautiful imagination. Take yourself to a beautiful landscape. Maybe it's the mountains or the ocean. Maybe it's somewhere you've been or somewhere you've dreamed of going. Notice the time of day, what the sky looks like. Look at your feet and the surface you are standing Thank you, Raven. And remember, my friends, you are safe, you are supported, and you are so loved. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I love you. Until next time.